Hi YouTube. Say now this video isn't going to be about whiny baby time or anything. This is in case you're new here and you don't know that I am a product of pedophilia. My mother was raped by somebody that, um, well, he's of the bloodline of the Khazarians connected with all the he's dead now, but with all the bad that's going on, he got away with taking advantage of my mother, although she was still a child. So, yeah. And then I was adopted by Masons. That's what my video is about, is what it was like to be raised by Masonic Jews. Uh, ugh, well, okay, my last video, I'm not, I talk a lot about like what is in those Talmudic teachings and the way they treat Goy and whatever, but the thing is, I was raised being treated like that because I was less than an animal to them. That's why I'm so strictly against adoption, because you don't know who you're giving your baby to, you know? My mom had no clue who she was giving her child to. And later, my grandmother and my mom came to try and find me. I had already been adopted out. I was abused. I had been named, but then I was brought back to the orphanage and readopted by the Masons that I spent the rest of my childhood with until I was emancipated by the state, divorced them. Point is, with those Talmudic teachings and all the things in the Noahide laws that are written into the laws of the United States that people don't know about, you need to either listen to my last video and some of the readings that I read out of that to people, or go read the Talmud online for yourself. And you'll see that this has nothing to do with being against anybody's race. This is about protecting all the other races except for those that have their own laws that are for them and not the other people. That they can basically do whatever they want to you or I, and have been doing that for thousands of years. They are not the victims. They are why people don't like them. Like, I have a video, if you're an arsehole, hey, we don't like you if we don't want to hang around with you. I mean, obviously, if you think I'm some kind of unclean animal, I wouldn't want to be around you anyway, you know? Especially if you are an unclean animal with those filthy thoughts within your mind and your soul. Ooh, no, thank you. So, I just thought I'd make it perfectly clear that this is not just about me. This is about everybody, and why I decided to make a war on it when I was young, you know. By 12, it was about me. By 15, it was about everybody else. So, in between 15 and 17, I had some major issues with everybody, but I got over that enough to have the grace of God in my heart so I could help people. You know, that was always my bottom line and what I cared about most passionately, you know. So, I just thought I'd talk a little more, maybe lighten it up a little bit, because, that's some heavy duty reading. And if you read the whole thing, if you read about what they're actually allowed to do with infants at any gender, it's heartbreaking. It will rip your heart right out of your body. Just knowing that these things have been done to human beings on this planet, you know. So, um, a call for enough, or I don't know what, like he's talking to, he doesn't know what channel he's on right now. He has too many of them trying to keep the information out there for everybody, and he had some really good stuff today. I think I have another one to watch yet, but yeah. Um, you can look in my community. I shared one that I put on top, I love this. And if you haven't checked out my last video and want to read that for yourself, some of the laws in the Talmud, what they, how they can use their words, like twist the words into a lie, and it's not a lie to them, because in that respect, they are our gods. Yeah, watch out for those people who call themselves God, because they know they didn't make you or I or themselves. So, God is a spirit that lives in our hearts and in our minds. And if you have a soul, you know, that's not always a sure thing, you know. People pretend, oh, they love, 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 love. No, 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 and no, not all the time. It's some smiley bean faces. You gotta watch out for that shit. So, oh yeah. To lighten up the mood, I'm having one of my favorite things to eat tonight is Swedish potato sausage on a piece of bread. Oh, it is so good. I just love that stuff. So, and my fudge brownies turned out pretty good, not bad. We've got some ice cream to have with that, and some of the fudge that was starting to set when I made the brownies. It was getting thicker eventually, so, and it would have, but I put some of that in the freezer to put on ice cream, so vanilla ice cream with fudge sauce on it. Oh yeah. So I don't know if I'm having that tonight, but probably not, because I had brownies last night. That's, yeah, they were good. So, but yeah, I just wanted to kind of lighten up the mood and make sure that the information's out there. This isn't people just hating on other people for no reason, or that we're jealous of their teachings, or that we think that they're chosen or are gods, and it's or out of meanness or jealousy or anything like that. No, it has nothing to do with any of that. So at this point, I don't even feel sorry for him. So maybe you can understand my lack of sympathy if you did watch my last video or read what is in their own teachings. Their laws that they go by are different than the laws for you and I. And if you've ever been in a court of law, you can tell who is connected and who is not. You know, it's obvious. Well, actually, the knots are like when somebody rapes my baby and they're connected, they get away with it, you know. So, and yes, he did. Uh, He did it to other boys too, and it's documented. It's like he got charged with it, and then they let him walk. And he did it, you know, because they can, and they know it. So it's not just the brotherhood. Like I shared too a meme on part of the Catholic Church that is the Jesuits that are in Jerusalem that are Khazarian connected Jews from the Slavic nations such as like Czechoslovakia used to be well in Ukraine, Poland, now resides in Israel, but are from like what's what used to be Croatia and some of them Slavic countries like that. That's who these people are. They are not from the Arabic nations. They never were. That is not their land. It's being occupied. So people have to know. I mean, even in their own holy books, they know it says that they messed up before and now they're going to get it again because they didn't listen the first time. That us Gentiles got the Word of God written on our hearts and it was um, offered to them and they denied it. That's when Moses broke the tablets right in front of his own people. He came down the hill. He saw them doing all this stuff like they're doing now, and he just smashed them things. He's like, that's the Torah. It's in there. And it says, and Israel is one person. This is the person that carries the satanic spirit, that one individual that some people call Lucifer. That's who God's talking to. That actually, because of the blood and the mixture of it through the waters, has the Christ spirit in him, whether he likes it or not, or they do. The male and female combination. So, and this is all very serious. It's all very real. What they've always implemented in the way they treat people, it's absolutely exactly what I'm saying, and a whole lot more. What we have to concern ourselves with is what kind of world are we going to leave for our children under the control of such monstrosities, you know? And who's calling names, you know, on this planet? It's not the people they call Goy. We're not the ones striking first or lying or deceiving or raping, murdering, stealing, all of that to other people with an excuse that we are some kind of God or God's chosen people. No, that's not the people that are talking out and fighting back. So that's the importance of it for informing our children what type of world they actually live in and who's running the show and why they are, because normal people would have never thought in a million years that other people would have such teachings and writings that they would pass on. And I mean, why would we ever think something that a person would ever think that low of us, you know? that they could do anything they wanted to do and with no consequence or very little. Like if a 9-year-old boy rapes a girl, even if she's 3, he'll get beat twice, you know. Or an adult can do anything to a 3-year-old, and the 3-year-old's gotta die because she's filthy from the day she was born. Think about these teachings and how pastors out there are going along with the Zionist regime and painting human beings filthy, you know. Of course, yeah, some of them are no filthier than people that want us dead and have such laws as these, same uh, wavelength, same type of person, same type of heart, no matter what their misdeeds are, how filthy they are, a murderer or a satanic scum, any way you twist it, that's what it is. Cheers, everybody. So, so like I said, it's not a poor me video. I'm a warrior. I'm out here trying to get this information and the proof to you, not just my words, but actual proof so you can see for yourself and make your own decisions, on who you want to support, and why. It's like this type of scenario. Say if you go to a guy's channel and you're a woman and he'll like get along or she'll get along with, I'll just use a guy, he'll get along with like a guy and you're a woman, and he'll get along with other women that will kind of cater to him, but he actually doesn't like women, you know. Or if you're you're going to watch a woman and she has no respect for other women on there, but will have like some kind of connection with a guy, you know, the person that it's being done to, they're going to be fully aware that something's being done to them, but they'll be like a guy may not understand how I feel, and I may not understand how that guy feels. Do you see what I mean? I don't know. It's hard to explain. Either anyway, I just don't put up with people's crap. If I don't like them, I don't like them. And then I go and share people's information and find out that they're just trying to spread nonsense just to make money off that. I can't like these people like that. How do you do that? you know, or if they're trying to, you have God in your heart, but they're using uh, scholars and ministers. I used to be a Christian, and here's why I stopped, and you know, psychiatry, every angle to try and get at us, you know. So yeah, our fight's not over because our kids are not safe on this planet. Nobody is, unless you're connected to that bloodline. Them that say they are Jews but do lie. And I even have proof they did not write the scriptures. They twisted them. Oh, yeah, they did. And people have to know the English, German, Jew, um, Slavic connection. China, Norway, all kinds of places. This is absolutely real. You can live in Bolivia and be a Semitic Jew, you know. And I read to you how they go into other nations and what they're doing here with the whites and the blacks and how they're trying to destroy people, pitting us against each other, you know. It's all very real, unfortunately. That's why I say if you have allegiance to another country, that's the country you need to live in. You need to get out of the United States of America and get your banks out of here. We don't want you and we don't need you and we do not like you. Is that clear? Go where you're liked and take the people that like you with you. You got enough funds to do that. Turn your deserts into oases and get off God's country, continent, and stay out. This is God's land, all of it. Not any chosen people, you fucking fools. This was given to Adam and Eve, period. And no, they did not do what they were accused of. That was Satan and his old lady. What does that sound like? Yeah. The truth's gonna come out. One of these days that people are gonna be able to just open up a scripture truly written by people of God and say, wow, now that makes sense. That resonates with my soul, you know. That, yeah, the bloodlines, they wanted to copy that and they wanted to enslave God within mankind, but they ended up raising Christ with all their misdeeds. And it started because of a rape of a child, just like I was made. Isn't that an incredible thing? Can you imagine a little girl crying being raped and then they want to kill her? And an old man stepping up and saying, nope. There's the truth of it. That's how Christ was made. Why would they travel to an inn in Jerusalem or Bethlehem, rather? That's why. Pregnant people don't travel typically across the country unless they're fleeing from something to keep safe, you know. Imagine that little girl. Yeah, dang right an angel was with her and the grace of God through her into our cells, in our blood, and even the Jews feel it, whether they like it or not. All the scriptures that were hidden that tell actual um, timelines and that type of thing that the Vatican does hide. The books of Alexander were taken out of all the important stuff out of those libraries and hidden. And the Jesuits and the Masons don't much know that, but the Jesuits and the Vatican, they know. The Jews know. They've got it documented. Jesuit, Jew, Pope, all the same. And the Muslims, they'll all come together and denounce God and call themselves God and put their king in place. With all of us connected to AI and under their control is what they hope to do. They feel they have the right to do that because just like a bully, if he can get away with bullying you, he's going to do it. If you stand up to him, well, one-on-one, typically they're cowards if you confront them. Not always. You get some really retarded, murderous type people, and then you better be ready to battle, you know. But in general, bullies are pretty weak-minded people, you know. So I just actually am on here. I'm just pleading with you. Watch my last video. Just here, there, it's not about hate. It's about protecting ourselves, and we have that right. So, so I'm going to get this uploaded and have a really wonderful week ahead. I'm going to finish, after a while, I'm listening to Hopi Star People and Connections with Grandpa Melva, a Hopi elder. He's pretty neat. Rex was going to drop the link for his channel in his description. I didn't see it yet, but if he does, I'll probably sub to him. He is, what do you say, 67? So he's like a couple years my senior, you know. So, all right, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA.